G'day, welcome back to Fading Margins. Well, post nap on a Sunday afternoon, you think to yourself, "Yeah, I could do with a quick brew." And then you think, "Well, yeah, I know, but I just don't fancy putting the kettle on." So what does a guy do? Well, he goes out and he fills up his Moore's pot with 1.5 liters of water, and then he thinks to himself, "Well, what we should do is we need to make this into a YouTube world premiere." And that means you have to have something that nobody's ever filmed on YouTube before. Well, I think I've got something. I've never seen it before on YouTube, used on YouTube, and I've searched for the product on YouTube and I've never seen it. It's a piece of kit. I've not used it before. This is a first burn, so this is not a review. But I know the company, I know the man, and it should be good stuff. Now, by way of context, let's tell you a quick story. I once had the privilege of having a chat with a tank commander while he was sitting on his Challenger 2. And as an enthusiast in other fields, I was keen to listen to this man whose tank was his hobby, it was his life. And we were talking about various things. And anyway, to cut a long story short, the upshot, the punchline for him was the biggest gun always wins. Or to put it another way, size matters, firepower matters. And that, you will see in a minute, has relevance to what we're about to get up to here. All right, I'll bring you back in a second. All right, guys, we're not strictly doing bushcraft this afternoon, so I'll use one of these. Those are dragon fires as a fire starter. And here's the item. Watch out. We can get in here now. There's a lot of crap in here, I tell you. Right, so here's the item in question. This is, if you'll excuse the racket. So this baby here is the 4-Dog Stove Harlton cooker. Alright, made by 4-Dog Stoves in Minnesota by a gentleman called Don Cavallis. I have, as you know, the Bushcooker 1, and the Bushcooker 2, and the Bushcooker 3. Well, this is the mother of all bush cookers. Okay, and we're going to fill this up with wood. We're going to fire it up, and we're going to watch it boil. Excuse me. We're going to watch it boil up a liter of water for me to make 1 cup of tea. Alright guys, as you can see, we've loaded it up. This is the using the Swedish fire torch technique. The stove itself is named after a chap called Kelly Harlton, who was Morse Kohansky's protege. You'll find him on YouTube if you go looking. So we're going to pop this fire dragon on top, and then we give it a bit of that, and off we go. Let's see what this does. The great thing about these fire dragons is that because they're not proper solid fuel like they're advertised, they're actually a gel and they melt. As you can pop them on top, light them up, and the gel just, as it liquefies, it runs down inside. It's a very, very effective fire starter. And of course the bush cookers burn everything to ash, so all the dreadful scummy white residue that you get if you burn them in the field cookers, you don't get, it just burns it all to ash. Now she's going to smoke a little bit because I've covered all the holes, all the secondary ventilation, putting these in. As I say, this is a first burn, so we're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for fire. This stove weighs, I think it weighs in at about a pound, 500 odd grams. It is made of titanium, heavy gauge titanium. Absolutely no messing. I want to say that this is done on a whim. So I'm doing this in my backyard. And as I say, I've covered all the secondary ventilation holes. I've overfilled this thing. The sticks are the wood in it is too long. So we are going to get a bit of smoke. These bush cookers, they burn absolutely clean. If you've got dry wood and you follow the instructions properly, they will burn smokeless. I'm not in a huge rush to put the pot on, simply because I know that thing's going to burn for 40 minutes. So with one fill, if you were using whatever that is, some sort of light pine or something, you're using a proper hardwood. One of these in a base camp setting would be fantastic, because you'd be able to cook your stew, boil the kettle, do everything you need to do, and at the end of the evening you could probably refill it and use it like a campfire. Also done properly, and perhaps put on some legs, because the base of these gets quite hot. It wouldn't be difficult. I've got a set of wire stand for a Kelly kettle, so to set up. It's which fits underneath this, so it takes it up off the ground. You could certainly use one of these. There you go. In say a teepee, probably a downside less obnoxious in something in a tent teepee than an old-fashioned firebox. There you go, so you're starting to get a view now, you're starting to see what I'm talking about. And that is that flame is like the thick end of 2 feet off the top of the stove. So that is some serious firepower. Right, let's get this billy on. Right, what I got here, as I say, is my Morse pot. It is 1.65 litres of fire. Well, there you go. So what you got there now is 1.65 litres of water. I don't need 1.65 litres of water. I need a cup of tea. But for the purposes of YouTube entertainment and sensation, why not? Why not indeed? So I'll leave you guys to keep an eye on the fire while I go get a pair of gloves so I can get it back off again. Let's talk through a few bits and pieces while we're waiting here. As you can see, as you can see down here, Don's cut a notch in the pot stand so that you can fit a smaller pot. But as I say, the 1.8 Morse pot is about the smallest you'd get in there. Anything smaller than that's going to fall through. The shrewd amongst us, I'm sure, could come up with some sort of arrangement to get a smaller pot on there. But frankly, if you're going to be perpetually running a smaller pot, this beast from beyond is really overkill. Perfect for a big frying pan. talking cast iron kettles, big spun steel pans, cooking for multiple people, or if you're like me, just a complete kit addict. It's just an absolute thing of beauty. Exquisitely made. Bears the maker's mark, if you know what I mean. Alright, Billy's starting to talk now. This does not come with a windshield. I haven't asked Don about a windshield for this, but it would have to be absolutely enormous. And frankly, with the amount of firepower this puts out, you'd have to be in a blizzard or something. Now, as with all of these, they're not folders. It doesn't fold. It is what it is. It fits. It fits in a particular situation. But I think it's absolutely gorgeous. What I'm going to do now is, I'm not going to cheat, guys. What I'm going to do is I need to scald the pot. So I'm going to pour a little bit off into the kettle, into the teapot here, and then we'll let the rest come up to a boil before I throw the tea in. We've reached that point. We're a rolling boil. Now, while that brews, you guys want to come with me for a sec? Come around and take a look in there. Like a furnace. Absolutely gorgeous. That is really warm. That's a really sweet cooking fire. Alright guys, as you can see now, the flame's gone. There's a significant amount of heat coming off that stove. You've got a bed of beautiful red coals churning it out in the bottom. I've got my cup of tea, as you can see here. So it just remains for me to thank you all. Thank you all for the kind comments on the previous video, and thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll give me your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. This won't be the last time you see this cooker, but I'm pleased that you took the time to stop by for this world premiere of the 4-Dog Stove Harlton cooker. In the meantime, as always, I wish you all every blessing, health and happiness, and this is Steve signing out. Bye for now.